Hello, and welcome to another Wicker Biscuit.
Hello.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. Excited to have you guys back. So we're going to start out with some introductions. First up, we've got
Lisa.
Hey, Lisa. Next,
Ryan.
hey, Ryan. And then we've also got Sleepy Amanda.
I even took my ADHD meds today. 2 times.
2 times.
Yeah, because I can take it once in the morning and once in the afternoon, and I'm still yawning.
Oh no. And then on Zoom, we're lucky enough to have
Courtney.
Hey, Courtney.
I'm back.
Yeah, you are. We missed you.
I missed you.
Aw. So how are you guys? Fill me in. How's life?
Well, I've just been yawning all day.
Well, okay, yeah. Other than that, though, you've had a busy weekend.
Maybe that's why I'm yawning all day.
Because your busy weekend?
Yeah.
Well, fill in the listeners.
So since March of this year, I've been getting around to painting my son's room. So this weekend was it. I finally just did it. We got all of his stuff out of his room and I painted it. And also, as much as I love my dad, I am turning into him little by little every day, as evidenced by my unwillingness to follow Gary's wonderful suggestion.
Oh, well, okay, yeah.
Because so what we're doing is we're putting LED lights up. So Gary wanted me to paint the very top of the wall bright white so it would reflect better, and then we're going to put like a little piece of trim.
Yep.
And he's like, I think you should tape it. And I'm like, I don't need to tape it because it doesn't need to be perfect because we're going to put the trim there. In my head, I pictured very wide trim that would cover any imperfection that I had. So I was, no, this is good enough. I don't need to do that. And then I was done, and Gary's like, you're gonna have to tape it. And I was, why? I think it's fine. Like, it's good enough.
And then I took her to Menards and we looked at trim.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, here you go. And then she saw what I was talking about.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to tape that.
But yeah, it's almost it's kind of like I think it's actually for like a floor trim, but we're gonna be doing it.
Okay.
We're gonna be doing it more like a crown molding, but not at the top. So it's gonna sit 8 inches down, and then the above part is white, and then where it sticks out from the wall, the LEDs will be on it, so you won't see the LEDs. They'll be pointing up, and that's why it's all white, because it will reflect the light. And so that way they're not right in your eyes.
Yep.
And you just get a better vibe.
Is this LED string lights?
It's an
like
LED strip.
Oh,
But they're programmable, so I can do any color, any brightness. I can make them dance and go ooh la la.
Okay.
Are they the ones that'll like go to the music?
Yeah, I can do that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So
those are fun.
So yeah. So Gary was very gracious with me. And
it really wasn't that big of a deal.
It wasn't, but I am my father. And I told my mom, and she laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed.
That pretty much seals it for me, yeah. Because your mom totally got it.
Oh, God.
I should have been on the phone with your mom.
She thought it was hilarious. And then also, I'm like, we talked about getting a chalk line because it was really hard. I'm like, well, I can just go get a chalk line. So I did, and
I didn't go with her.
No, so I did it on my own, of my own volition, and I purchased the exact wrong color of chalk because I thought that the blue or the red would stain. So I got white chalk, and white chalk on white paint, completely useless.
You don't see it.
And Gary said something about like, oh, it's too bad like there wasn't a different color, and I'm like, oh, there were different colors. And he's like, what? Why did you get white? And I'm like, because I thought the others would stain.
It's like I track the logic. It's just like, oh, it didn't work out though.
No, well, I don't know why. Like I was thinking like because the other color, like it would be on that, even though I knew it wouldn't be, but like in my head, like it would be. Yeah. And I didn't want it to stain. And I told my mom that story and she laughed.
Oh, yeah. But then we kind of eyeballed it and it worked out without
so we
the
did
chalk,
what we were initially doing.
I mean, we're not out anything. We have a chalk line now.
Yeah.
Which I actually did want.
Yeah. So
You looked really cute when you said that.
Ooh, thank
The
you.
face you made was like, well, I really do want it.
I did.
no, that was our weekend. And it looks really good. And Seth is, ooh, this is really nice. It's like a whole different room now. And I'm like, right, because I've been saying since we moved in, we need to repaint this because I did a terrible job. Really awful. But
yeah. It looks really super nice now.
Do you guys want to paint my house? Because I did a really awful job taping.
Oh, I'm good at taping. Although I need better tape. I don't think our tape was
I'm really
very
good at painting. Well, it's one of those things where I hate doing it for myself. If I'm doing it for someone else, for some reason, I'm cheerier and happier about it. Does that make any sense?
How come you can't envision me as somebody else.
That's true. That's bad on me. I'll admit it. But you know what I mean? Like doing chores around your own house sucks. But like if you went to a friend's house to help, it's
people
like,
ask me all the time. Oh, I suppose you have really clean windows at home. I'm like,
No.
You think I do my own?
Right.
I have not yet.
Right. Right. And people are like, for me, they're like, oh, you have like this computer stuff. I'm like, fuck no. I don't want to look at more screens when I'm done with work.
Right.
No. So I would paint your house. I'm really good at taping, but we need better tape because our
She is
tape
really
was
good at
not
taping.
good.
I know
So
good tape.
I have
Thanks
a lot.
to my dad.
I have there's a lot of stuff on the dirt.
That's okay. Well,
It's
that's fine.
fine.
I have good tape.
Good.
Wait, on the wood grain trim? Yeah. Amanda.
I know. It bled through.
Okay.
The tape was sucky,
I
apparently.
have good tape.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
But I am good at taping, but I apologize. But you know
that's
what?
fine.
It's Seth's room. It'll be gross anyway.
I mean, that's a true statement. I mean, to all of our listeners out there, all I have to do is say 14-year-old boy, and you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If you don't, go find one. They smell.
Ours doesn't smell too much.
You better not. I give him a gift
he's
card to
gotten
get
way
cologne.
better.
Right?
He's gotten way better.
Why did you do that?
He's never been exceptionally smelly.
His room was, though.
Oh, yeah, it was for a hot minute there.
Like,
But anyway, Gary, I thought
mhm.
about how you don't consider me a different person. So you don't like to do the stuff for me always because we got married
We did.
and you really believe in the whole like now we are one soul.
Yeah, there's a rumor that that's true. We lit a candle that was supposedly supposed to make our souls into one. Wasn't that
Yeah,
the thing?
didn't we have to like redo it though? I think.
You know
so
what?
it didn't take the first time?
No. And it's funny that
The
you bring that
flame went
story
out?
up because I want
Our wedding
to
was
share
a
these stories.
Wee
'Cause
bit of a mess.
you know what it is, guys? It's wedding season.
Sure is.
And you know what? I want to share some fun wedding stories.
Cool.
You guys want to get in on that?
Ooh, I do.
Okay.
I love a wedding.
Well, we all.
Oh, I love them. I love weddings.
Now, what I'm going to do then is just say, let's share some fun wedding stories. They could be, sky's the limit, whatever you want to share. If it's a friend's wedding that you went to, a wedding that you were in, or
maybe it was a wedding that was just this last weekend.
maybe,
Ooh.
or maybe you just really love the movie My Best Friend's Wedding.
I do love that movie.
Well, you can talk
I
about
watched it a lot as a
27 dresses.
There you go.
Yeah,
But in the meantime,
Real life weddings.
Since Courtney jumped in with having one this last weekend,
that's the most recent one, I
I
believe.
think since it's
Yeah.
the most recent, should we just start with
Hot
that, guys?
damn.
Well, sure. So one of my shaboopies got married this last weekend.
Aw.
Yes, my little Dustin.
Are
And
all of them married now?
Not
No.
Well, not
2
the
out of
one
4
in high
now.
school.
We're
obviously.
halfway there. Halfway there.
50%.
Yeah. And that's about how much it drained my bank account.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Right. But no, it was good. It was a rainy weekend, but we overall it went pretty good. We did have somebody wedding bomb it though.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Was
Her
it a
name
neighbor?
was her name was Bindi.
Bindi.
Oh.
I know
My
Bindi.
favorite underbite ridden little fluffer dog. My husband had one job only, and that was to make sure that the damn dog would be like contained somewhere, because we've all seen that video of like an outdoor wedding where there's a dog that just like stumbles into like the photo shoot and just
Yep.
drops a big hot one right next to like the bridesmaids, you
God,
know.
that would make me so happy if that would have happened at our wedding.
Really?
A dog shitting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Why not?
Well,
I mean, I'll get to my story.
Because it was really freaking hot that day, and that poop would have stunk.
Yeah, but when we come back
it would've
around
brought joy.
with my stories, when the listeners hear about our wedding, they'll understand some dog shit may have just added to it. But let's continue, Courtney. I want to hear more about this.
About Bindi.
yeah, my little binder bun. So the wedding took place at our house. It was an outdoor one. I think I mentioned that already.
Mhm.
But my son, he just wanted to he's like, I just need to do this at home. I need to make it, something that just hits the heart. So that was really awesome that he picked our house. And so we did it out in a hayfield by our creek.
Ooh, very nice.
And I get down there, and of course my son walks me and his now mother-in-law up to the front and seats us, and then goes back, and then in comes the wedding party, hand in hand, one at a time, and then trailing the last groomsman is fucking Bindi. Like, she freaking owned the joint. Well, she
does.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, I look at my husband, I'm like, loyal. You had one job. And there she is. She's like just wagging her tail. She's like doing meet and greets with all the family, going up to like all the bridesmaids, the groomsmen. Like, it's so nice of you guys to join me up here. She waited there for the bride to come down the aisle. Like, oh, it's so nice. Another one to come and pet me. And then the wedding wraps up and she goes right back down the aisle with all the groomsmen. Like, it was part of the thing. And like, some people whispered, like, that was so cool that they had their farm dog at their farm wedding. And like, it was like part of like the procession. And I'm like, no, that little fucking mutt, just like all on her own, just, but I was horrified. But
did she lick anybody's calves?
Ooh.
Oh, most likely.
I've noticed lately a lot when I meet a new dog, and they're just kind of like, you're not there to meet the dog is just there, and they're like,
Yep.
And they always lick my calves, and I'm like, oh, hello.
Well, I think you just have tasty calves.
Apparently.
But
because I believe Bindi licked my calf when I was at the house.
Probably.
Yeah,
She
it
likes
wasn't that
swimmer
long ago
scrotum.
you met Bindi for the first time, so that was cool.
Yeah.
I just love that she made herself part of the
She
wedding.
did.
And
I'm
she followed the rules. Like, she was more
She did.
controlled than a child.
And I said, where was she? I never noticed her. And he says, well, and Lyle's like, well, she was licking some baby's face the whole time. And I'm like, oh, nice. Really nice. And then afterwards, she just weighed her way up and down the aisles. Like, butt rubs, please.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Oh my God, that would be my favorite wedding ever.
That would be
See?
a good one.
I could have died.
But just
I'm
to
like,
be clear.
if you shit,
Okay, that was
She
gonna,
didn't.
that was going to be my next question. Just to be clear, did she drop a deuce at all? But it sounds like no.
She
Okay,
did
good.
not tinkle.
She's
She
a
did not poop.
lady.
Well, yeah, she is a lady, but she's also
She's something.
awesome.
I will say she was like, no offense to my nieces and my nephew, but they were little when they were in our wedding and did not want to walk down the aisle.
Oh,
He was the
yeah.
ring bearer and he was like,
Ooh.
not having it.
I remember that.
So
yeah.
I don't remember if it was, I don't know, all three of them had to walk down together and he was just like, I don't like this. No, thank you.
That actually made for some good pictures.
It
though.
was.
Yeah.
It was really cute. Except one of them is like behind the other two, so you can't really see her. And I don't remember if that was. I can't
We can
remember.
go back and look.
But it was
Speaking of
just funny.
children and weddings, that reminds me of my first son's wedding.
Oh, let's hear
Where-
that.
Oh my gosh. We had a beautiful wedding at this beautiful resort on Lake Superior.
Ooh.
And I know, so fancy. Well, my son, one of my older boys, was dating this chick, and she had a 2-year-old,
Oh, okay.
maybe 3-year-old then. And let me just say, this girl was not my favorite.
Okay.
You just have that motherly instinct, like, this is not the one, but you just have to let her ride or die,
Yep.
So you just keep your mouth shut and you just like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. I'm
Is
so
that
glad
what
you
I'm-
could be here. Bullshit.
Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Exactly.
supposedly, yeah.
Otherwise, you're a meddling mother. You
Yeah,
don't wanna
and
be
you're
that
gonna
person.
the more you protest, the more they're gonna want that person.
Exactly.
From the dude side, I can attest to that.
I'm gonna have a.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So this woman came with her daughter, and my son was part of the wedding party because obviously it was his brother's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And as they're doing the literal vows, the little girl tries to run away from the wedding party. It was on a beach, so like you obviously don't want her beelining to the water or whatever.
No kidding.
And
I
the
mean-
mom is not watching her.
Oh.
You know,
They never are. They never
Exactly.
are. I don't mean every mom, but like
Oh,
there's
I'm
a
like,
certain
I've
type.
watched my
there's a
kid.
certain type
Uh-huh.
of mom that would
Yeah.
bring their kid to like a family function,
right?
and their kid is like wandering towards the street, and you're all like, I guess I'll save your child, who I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah.
Seth had a
Exactly.
leash backpack.
So she's like,
That's
"Oh,
true.
go ahead, honey. Go up there with Grandpa Lyle and
Oh
Grandma
my God.
Courtney." And I'm like, "Oh, I just, I want to just like enjoy the moment and just take it in." And, and so now there's this little girl that we're trying to stop from bolting up to the wedding party in the open water. So Lyle tries to like kind of like put her on his lap and just kind of put his arms around her to stop her from going. And all of a sudden she screams at the top of her lungs. She says it multiple times. "Fuck you."
Oh man.
Oh.
It was on all of like the wedding videos and everything. I
wanna
could
watch that
have
video.
reached over and just strangled her and then strangled the mom.
Oof.
But yeah, fuck you. Right at the wedding. The hell.
I don't think Seth knew that word at 2.
Oh gosh, he did not. The first time he said that word, he was 4 and we were in the living room watching cartoons and he just out of the blue wasn't saying anything and then he just said, "Fuck."
Oh.
And I was like, did you just say fuck? And he's like, "Yep." Or I think I might have asked him like, "I'm sorry, what did you say? Fuck? Did you say fuck?" "Yeah."
I fucking did. No.
"Beth, do you know what that word means?" And then he like knew like, oh no. So he like looked around and he's like, "It means Maddie is hungry." Because Maddie was our dog and she happened to walk by and I'm like, "No, honey, that's not what that means. Like that's a very sassy word. We don't say it." And he was just like, "Okay." And then didn't say it again. But it was just like he must have heard it like on a video or I don't know, whatever. And it was just like, "I'm gonna try this out." Fuck. Like there was no context. No.
She was fucking hungry, Amanda.
Yeah, she was. Well, if you could have asked Maddie, like, "Is it time for food?" She'd be like, "Fuck yeah."
Yeah, she would have.
Right?
But yeah,
She loved food.
it was so funny. And
Oh,
Whoa,
and
a dog that
speaking
loves
of-
food? That's wild.
No, I know. But
Right?
it was to the point where, like, so our dog Ruggles is a grazer. So, like, I can leave food in her dish. And actually, Oreo is the same way. So we would just leave her dish full. Maddie was not that way. If there
Right,
was a
right.
drop of food in there, she would eat it.
Right.
So,
I
yeah.
had to like watch her.
No, I know what you mean, though. Of course, all dogs love food. But she was
she was
a hungry hound.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bindi, if she's very, very food driven. And ironically, like if she is doing something she shouldn't be doing, the best way to get her attention is to say, "Bindi, you want food?" But you have to say food
Yeah.
or she doesn't like register. So there's this mother idiot, the front of the wedding party. "Bindi, you want food?" Trying to do it like really low so she comes over by me. "Bindi, you want food?" They probably thought I was having some medical.
That's
You
what's going to be
know?
on the recordings of this wedding
"Bindi, you want food?"
instead of that kid yelling, "Fuck." It's Courtney.
Yeah.
"Bindi, you want food?" Like,
It
what
almost
the fuck is
reminds
wrong
me
with
of the pie. Bindi, would you like some pie?
pie. Yeah.
I think Bindi would like some pie.
Oh, it's to die for.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Bindi. I
Well,
love that she
I
made an
gotta say,
appearance.
Courtney, I'm so happy for you and your family because it sounds like a lovely time, a lovely wedding.
It really was.
And I hear
it
you
was
had a
very moist.
really good
but-
group of groomsmen.
Yeah,
yeah, they were stellar. Oh
Yeah.
my
That's
gosh.
That's good because you want dependable people.
You
for
know,
groomsmen.
Right.
We actually-
absolutely.
I gotta say, everybody I'll go into that when I get into my wedding. But yeah, we Amanda and I even had some issues with that, but it all came through at
We
the
weren't
end.
sure if one of them was going to show
Yeah.
up until that day.
Yeah,
I
like-
couldn't even imagine what that would be like. Oh,
Well, we had like we had 3 ushers,
We
so
had
we were like,
backups.
we'll just bring one
Yeah.
of them in if that guy doesn't
we
show
literally
up.
Right.
had like a backup plan. Yeah, but it worked out.
yeah.
It was fine.
And then I think
Well,
the
that's
other
good.
not tragedy, but the other thing that was panicking people, and I'm putting in air quotes, was I want to say it was my cousin. He forgot black socks.
Oh,
So like
Oh.
his dad had to like run and go get some, and then
I have
bring
a
them
fun
back.
story about socks later.
All right, well let's
I do
keep the,
too.
let's keep the train moving. Let's go on to Ryan. Ryan, do you have any like wedding stories? And then we'll dive into some
I
socks
have
later.
several. I won't go with all of them right away because we don't
Yeah.
want to do that. But since Courtney talked about things being on the wedding recording,
Mhm.
so when my cousin got married in like 98, I remember because I didn't go because it was my first week of school in high school. And I'm like, I'm not going to miss the first week of high school. Sorry.
I don't blame you there.
But they were mic'd because it was like a big fancy wedding and they had
Ooh.
like professional cameras and all that stuff. So they do their little thing and they light their candle and they get their communion and they go and like sit down. And the bride says to my cousin, "My parents gave us $10,000."
Oh my god!
So it's like in the wedding video. She just leans over and whispers that to him.
Oh no.
So that was a
Thank
big
you,
hit.
Diane.
Right?
Oh my gosh, that's great.
I panicked, but not during the wedding that I performed, but during the rehearsal, because Amanda will understand this. In college, did we write our papers early?
No.
Did we
God,
wait
no.
till the night before to finish or
Oh,
even start
sometimes
some of them?
the day of.
Right? So I have to write this wedding
Just the time allotted.
for my friend
Yeah.
Ashley, and I have to perform this wedding, and I was really excited about it, and I got ordained and got the little card and all that good stuff. Even though I panicked for a long time that I hadn't done enough, because like you really just go on the website, enter your info, and it's like, there you go. And I'm like, I don't have to.
There's no test.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it takes more to be a notary.
Yeah.
Like, there's a test now to be a notary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a notary once.
So I get my card, and I there was part of me that was just still panicking. Like, what if I get there the day of, and they're like, well, you're not really
You're not
ordained
really,
to do this. But
this isn't really legit.
everything was
But you're
fine.
like, I have a card. Excuse me.
Right.
Right. It's official.
So we do the rehearsal because they were getting married at like this orchard, and it was like all the people in the wedding were not. There's like one person that I knew. Everyone else was new to me, and it was like, oh, I don't know these people. And we do the rehearsal dinner, and then we did the rehearsal after because it was like we met somewhere local and ate, and then went to the venue, and they were just showing us where everything was going to be and where we had to stand. And they didn't do like the candle lighting or the sand mixing. They did a beer mixing, which was really cute. It was really cute, but.
Oh.
I thought we had to do a candle. I didn't know there were other options.
You can do one where you hold hands and they tie a rope around you.
I think I've seen that.
Lyle and I just scissored. I mean, what's more binding than that?
That's true. And you
So-
know, I recorded their video for their wedding. So
Oh, nice.
I got right in there.
Good.
I got great camera angles.
So
Yeah, I put my foot on his shoulder. Continue.
I'm standing at the front, and they're standing there, and they're like talking about who's gonna come down when and do this, and I'm supposed to say like, I have a little announcement to be like, okay, well, the bride and groom ask that you don't have your phones, just enjoy this moment because there's plenty of pictures being taken, so don't whatever, and please be seated because that's another thing. Why is it at weddings when it's like a priest who does the stuff all the time or a minister or whatever, they're good at like, okay, please be seated.
Well, that's subjective.
The last two weddings I was at, we're just standing there and standing there and standing there and standing there. And it's like,
we need direction.
at some point, this last one we were at 2 weeks ago, Carl just sat down. He's like, nope, I'm done. I'm gonna sit down now. And then finally someone like leaned over and whispered to him. He goes, oh, please be seated. I was like, yeah, you're about halfway through the ceremony. Now we're going to sit. Thanks.
Now it's weird.
I said, if I was going to stand up in this wedding, I should be up there.
right.
Right?
Yeah, no kidding.
But we're rehearsing everything. And then Ashley says to me, so then this is when we do the ceremony. Oh, do you want to do some of it now? And I'm like, I don't have anything written yet.
Like,
I know it's the night before, but I'm like, I just go, I don't have it with me. And she goes, oh, that's fine. I'm like, and usually rehearsals, you don't rehearse the ceremony. You just
No.
rehearse the blocking and what's going
Yeah.
to happen. You don't.
Our priest didn't
Right.
come to our thing.
No, he
I
didn't.
think he
That's
should
right.
have, though.
I was
Oh,
there.
for sure he should have. I don't care how many years he had been doing it.
Yeah.
He was not totally with it.
Their wedding was fun because she basically said, you do whatever you want. We just want these three things in it.
Oh,
You
okay.
can put them in wherever you want.
Oh,
Yeah.
Nice.
It was a
That's
lot
nice,
of Harry
yeah.
Potter references, but I did a lot
Oh,
of fun
yeah.
stuff. So
We have a friend who did a very Harry Potter themed wedding thing. I don't know if it was in the ceremony though, or if it
I
was
don't
just
know
in like
what
the
the engagement
rehearsal. Not the rehearsal. I'm sorry. The
Proposal?
no.
Oh.
The dinner afterwards. The reception.
another thing about being prepared for weddings that I'd say from 2005 till about 2019, anytime Carl and I had to go to a wedding, we had to drive there. We usually had to change in the parking lot at
Oh,
the
my
venue.
word.
Because we'd be driving and Carl you don't want to be in like your dressy clothes for the
Absolutely.
road. And
100% agree.
so you'd get there and be like, okay, we got like 7 minutes.
Right.
We're changing right here. So that was kind of a goofy little thing.
Yeah.
nice.
Giving all the other guests a show.
Right? Ooh la la.
Absolutely. And it's funny being in so many weddings because like Carl and I, like when you guys got married around that 3-year period, it's like
Everybody was
knew
getting married.
got married, and then we'd be in the wedding. So anytime we were just at the wedding, it was like, oh, this is so nice. We just get to show up.
Yeah.
We don't have to be there early. We don't have to be up there or know anything. We just have to show up.
Well, you did
Right.
take some really cool photos with our really old photographer.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Well, that's fine because for you guys, of course. But when you have to do it over
Yeah,
and over,
I
and
know what you mean.
Some of them, it's like it wasn't really. Actually, I was only in like yours. Carl was in like 4.
Well,
around
Carl,
that time period. City Mouse, very popular.
Yes.
Yeah. That
He knows
guy.
more folks.
Yeah. I've really only been in like my own wedding and then siblings.
Well, there's always that awkward
Which
thing
is
when you're the significant other of someone in the wedding, but you're not in the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I just get to sit at a table with people I don't know.
Oh,
and look at my partner being up at the head table. Like, hi.
Yep. We've done that.
It's because I recognize how weird that was. When we got married, I said to the people that were in there where they had a significant other, I'm like, I don't care. They can come and sit with you at our table. And no one took me up on it. And I'm like, oh man. Mm-hmm. I even like purposely went on my way to make them feel welcome. And nope. I'm like, okay, well, fine. Be awkward, guys.
The wedding I was in, I basically shoehorned my date in at the end of the table.
Oh, nice.
I was like, she doesn't know anyone here. There we go.
There you go.
Perfect.
I mean, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that a lot.
One of the weddings Carl was in was his best friend, and they were in St. Lucia.
Oh,
the destination wedding.
Fancy.
So it was like the wedding party and then the families of the bride and groom. And they were at this resort. And the thing that we love to tell them is being from Wisconsin, they ate that resort out of cheese. At some point, they're like, oh, we're out of cheese until the next shipment comes in or whatever.
Could you imagine that ever happening in Wisconsin?
And a specific type of liquor. I don't remember what it was, but some type of liquor and cheese.
Leinenkugels.
Absolutely.
Probably if it was liquor and not like a beer, maybe like brandy. Because isn't that a common thing for Wisconsin? Like,
I think so. Brandy old fashions.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
He'll be glad I told that story.
I love that they ate them out of cheese
and drank them out of a specific liquor. That's
well, and there was
Wisconsin.
there was this karaoke bar that they loved because apparently in the Caribbean it's a big thing of like 70s country is still like the thing.
Really?
So they were like, yes.
Amazing.
So Carl and his friend Becky were like, oh, we're going again. We're gonna go sing.
They were in heaven.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
It is funny that you did mention though about how awkward it is if there's like a couple, but they're split between the wedding party and just a standard guest, because that was somewhat of a situation just this last weekend. My youngest, Devin, he brought his girlfriend.
Oh,
we all know her.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And my nephew has the biggest crush on her.
Oh.
So Devin had to sit up at the bridal table, and there's my son's girlfriend sitting next to Devin's nephew, who's 11 and has the biggest crush on her. And in the car, Devin's in the back seat, and the other two are sitting there all like snug as a bug in a rug in the back seat. And my nephew says, "Hey, when we get married someday, it's okay. Devin can be my best man." Devin's like, "I'm gonna kill you, you little son of a bitch." No, it was funny.
Oh my god,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, he just knew how to dig, just dig in those wounds. But
oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah, wow. Devin actually, I think, was starting to get a little bitter. Like, oh man, he knows how to work it.
Does he put his thing down, flip it, and reverse it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes,
he for sure did.
Yeah,
especially with that comment, right?
Oh, that's
you
bold.
can be my best man.
Yeah.
Very forward.
It's your flipper never now.
Well, I have a few more, but they're more reception related, so I figured that would be like round 2.
Yeah, sure. You can pass it off to Amanda. Yeah. So, Amanda, do you want to give us some goodies?
Goodness. I have so many of the goodies.
Give us some good ones and then pass it off or whatever.
Okay. Well, my sister got married the summer when I was done with 8th grade. So I was newly 14.
Oh, wow. You were like Seth's age.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. A month. I was 14 years and a month.
Okay.
And my sister had been with her now husband since I was in 4th grade. So it was not a surprise that they were getting married, whatever. But I was her maid of honor, and I was really excited. And the day before we went to Green Bay for planning or something, and we went to Arby's, and the lady couldn't hear me, and she asked me to repeat my order, and I burst into tears.
Oh no!
And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And it was mortifying, but my mom was very nice and whatever. And then this was the first wedding that I had ever been in. And my boyfriend at that time was there. And one of our other friends from school was there because his mom was singing. Mm-hmm. And I walked down the aisle with someone I didn't know. It was my brother-in-law's friend. And I ended up crying the entire wedding.
Oh no.
And I couldn't explain why, but I just cried the entire time. And then I had to do a reading. And though my dress was long, right? It was like a floofy gown that had like the crinoline underneath and all of that. And it was
crinoline?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was very, I felt
don't know
like
what crinoline is.
it's the big poofy undercoat to make it like fluff
sure
out.
that's
All the
not
layers.
tall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it lacy?
Well,
like
it was
netting?
It
Yeah,
was
isn't it kind
netting,
of a
but then it
netting?
had
Yeah.
another layer over it.
Okay, so you had like
Oh.
tulle and
Yes.
crinoline.
Yeah, it was gigantic.
I'm learning all this new vocabulary.
Yes. So I had
Thank
to get
you.
shoes
Was it like
for
was it like a petticoat?
kind of.
No,
Was there a junction?
Probably. I mean, there could be, but
Was it Styles Junction?
possibly.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we didn't live in Styles at that point, but yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Anyway, so I had to get shoes for this dress.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to get shoes that I would wear again. So I got these chunky penny loafers that were black.
Ah.
Right? They did not go with this dress
90s?
whatsoever. Oh, absolutely 1998. They didn't go with the dress at all, but I'm like, no one's going to see it. Who gives a crap?
Right.
And I didn't want to wear pantyhose because it was hot. So I'm like, I mean, actually, maybe I was going to change into them, but like, I don't
I'm
remember.
surprised that you wouldn't be too scared of your mom getting mad at you.
Well, it was a long dress.
Okay.
My mom was not super firm on a lot of things, but like pantyhose were a must. If you're wearing a dress or a skirt,
Mhm.
you're getting pantyhose.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was
And
like,
they're always the wrong flavor.
oh,
That's not the word.
None of it was
Wrong
good.
flavor.
wrong
is that what you
color.
said?
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
it was never quite the right shade of anything.
Right. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
They're
were
either too tan or
pale.
Yeah.
Super pale. It's like what happened to my legs. But I just like put on a pair of white socks and put on my shoes. And I don't remember if I was going to change or not. But I also figured like whatever, no one's going to see my feet. But I had to go up to do the reading. So I hiked my dress up because I didn't want to fall. And thought nothing of it. And I was just like trying to hold it together so I didn't cry. So I like took a deep breath. I'm like, okay, I just can't cry during this. And I went really, really fast. And then I went back down. And then after the wedding, people were making comments about my shoes and my socks. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, when you like went up to do the reading, like you showed. And I was like, oh my God. And then my grandpa told me later also, I didn't even know that was you, Amanda, until they announced that the sister of the bride was doing a reading. I didn't know who you were. I'm like,
Oh my God.
thanks, Grandpa.
Because he's never seen your ankles before.
Maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. Like, yeah, it was just bizarre. So yeah, that was the first my sock story of showing off my socks and my shoe combo to the entire church.
Oh, that's nice.
It was
I get it though.
yeah.
Oh God, I had to do a reading at a wedding.
What if that's all she said?
No, like I'm remembering the circumstances, like, and it just came flooding back to me when Amanda was telling her story, and I was like, "Oh man, I am a dumb whore."
Wow.
So there was this guy that I went to high school with, and there was a lot of sexual tension between us.
Ooh la la.
And we had graduated and gone to the same college for a while, and there was still sexual tension between us.
Do I know this person?
No, I don't
Oh,
think
okay.
so. No. And we eventually were fooling around, whatever. Yeah. And I was just being me. And I didn't realize he was with somebody.
Oh no.
That's not your fault.
No.
True,
and
true.
I didn't realize that they were engaged.
Oh.
And then you had to do a reading at the
And
wedding.
I had to do a reading at the wedding.
I love it.
About what love was. And it was so weird because he told me he told her that he had cheated on her with me.
And they were still insistent you need to be in the wedding.
And I need to use, he's like, she's fine with it. She's not mad at you. She still wants you to do the reading. And I'm like, oh
So
my God.
I just want to regather this. So
Yeah.
you did the reading at their wedding?
Yeah.
The one that you were semi canoodling?
Was this a way to punish
Nice.
you?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Welcome to my life.
on
That's
the break.
love
total
it.
sitcom material right
Yeah, I was
there.
gonna say it's great material for a podcast. So way to go.
Thanks for being a whore, Lisa.
You're welcome.
I am curious what the reading was. Was it like, do not let any woman meddle between you and your... I don't know.
It was one of the Bible readings that's very common at weddings.
Love is patient, love is kind.
That basically,
love is blah, 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 blah.
Love is forgiving.
Maybe that was where it was. Yeah.
It was very relevant.
And it was just really weird and uncomfortable, but I did it anyway, and I did it well.
Nice. Good job.
Because you're a professional.
I am.
Well, I was not a professional at my sister's wedding. Not even close.
It's hard to be professional at 14.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and then oddly enough, the friend that I had, like my sister doesn't really, I don't think she really knew this kid, but like he was in my grade and his mom was singing at the wedding. So he did the second reading.
Oh,
right.
Interesting.
And he went so slow.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, Jesus Christ, get going. Like, I get that I went too fast, but like, you're a sloth.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Unrelated to weddings, I had to do a reading once for like in CCD. We had to like get assigned the reading, and then we had to read it in church that Sunday. And like I memorized mine so hard because I was afraid to like screw up reading it that like to this day I remember it.
Oh,
it was just very short. It was like a sentence. Ooh. But it was one of those, you say the thing and you're like, Lord, hear our prayer, and everyone's like,
oh, sure.
Yeah. Yep.
And like I still think of it once. I'm like, oh, I still know that.
Yeah, I had a lot of mishaps at church.
Do you got more wedding stuff that you want to throw out?
Well, so we had a pianist for our wedding.
This is going to be a group one between the two of us. So you start, but we're going to dive into Amanda's and my wedding now.
So Gary and I got married at a pretty young age, which I honestly thought was like pretty standard because my parents got married when they were 20 and 22, and then my sister got married when she was 20.
Yeah.
So we got married when we were 22. So at that point in my life, I still thought like there were certain ways that you had to do things. For example, you had to get married in church.
Yep.
So we got married at church. And we had a beautiful singer. She was great, but her pianist was this old crotchety lady. Oh my God, I did not like her. She was bossy, and she used to be the principal of like a Catholic school for like 20 years.
Oh.
So she like thought she knew everything about all of the things at church. And we were talking about like the order of songs or whatever. Now, keep in mind, this is where it would have been helpful had our priest shown up to the rehearsal.
Yep.
Because they had very different ideas of what would be sung when.
In all fairness, I think our priest was correct.
I think so too. But and we tried to tell her that, and she insisted, no, I am right.
Yep.
And there was no telling that woman.
Do you think that was the principal in her?
I think so.
Probably.
It was horrible. So we were talking like when we were going over music or something, and I mentioned something about my grandpa, and I said like he's a dirty old man, and her response is, well, some of us like dirty old men. Ugh. And I was just like, oh my God, you want to like canoodle my grandpa.
And you're in a church, woman. Have some respect.
And also it's like, you're too old for him. Like he wouldn't be into it, which leads me to why my grandpa didn't show up to our wedding. He did not go to the ceremony because he was picking up his lady friend.
Oh.
Keep in mind, this lady friend was someone who had dated my dad.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. So she was my dad's age.
Yeah.
Was his child, obviously. So, yes. But he did show up to the reception because there's alcohol, and he's all about the alcohol.
So is this your grandpa, like your dad's dad?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, so it was like father, son.
Yeah.
And the same.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like
Now she
yeah.
just needs to date the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Right?
There you go.
Yeah. She was like looking for the
Amen.
trifecta. The Jesus trifecta.
Courtney and I were on the same page there.
And here I am going, it's like MILF Manor, except with the damn.
Well, I think there's one coming out.
MILF Manor?
There's a DILF one coming out.
Yeah.
It's called something else, though.
It's MILF Man. I just saw clips of it on John Oliver.
Well, I was appalled and yet also really like amped that Lisa Wilcox from Nightmare on Elm Street 4 and 5 is one of the MILFs on MILF Manor.
Oh,
and her son. And I'm like, oh, that makes me sad
like
but
a
happy
porn?
at the same time.
No. It's a reality show.
It's like a dating
Yeah.
reality. It's like The Bachelor, but with a big group of young hunks and
But isn't the
older
premise
ladies.
like there's old ladies and their sons are there?
Yeah.
And they're not dating their sons.
No,
No.
it's
They're
the women in their 50s or whatever, and then this group of younger men that are into older women are there, and then since it's MILF Manor 2, the boys, not the boys, but the young men, their dads are also trying to win the hearts of these 50 So they're both right, and that's what I saw on John Oliver. And like this one of the contestants, the women, was like, I really liked making out with Joey and kissing him, but I was conflicted because my son's name is Joey. And
God.
John Oliver was like, and there you go. And now we're going to talk about this. And if you can sit through this, I will reward you with letting you watch another clip from MILF Manor.
Oh my God. Oh, that would be appalling.
So now I kind of want to watch it, and I probably will.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I need the trash sometimes.
That's fair.
We all do. We all do.
Anyway, sorry.
No.
The Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost.
So
Yeah.
I want to go into, because I have on my list of the craziest wedding that I've ever been to was my own.
Mm-hmm.
So just let me throw that out there. So now, since Amanda and I are talking about our wedding, the number one thing I have was the priest. So
Yes.
to follow up that story
He was
with
old.
he was old, but
Yeah, we
he
talked
he
about
was
him,
such
didn't we?
a nice guy,
Well,
though.
he made
was
a
very
little,
nice.
he made little jokes, and the first one he made, it was before the ceremony actually happened. But I remember I said to Carl, "Oh God, a funny priest."
Oh yeah.
So we have the DVD that we have never watched.
I wasn't at your wedding, so
We have to
I
have a
want
viewing.
to watch.
We have to have a viewing party.
Well,
we
You know
do.
what's gonna happen? You're gonna watch it, and we're gonna go. I'll go. Oh, look how skinny we were.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah, no
so beautiful that day.
You were.
You're
Ugh.
still
You're
beautiful.
still
I know, but
so
like
shut
that was
up.
like the peak. Like the lady who did my makeup. Ugh. I was just like, oh, look at me.
And you should
How's that
see
my face?
what I look like in professional makeup, because I was in a wedding and got full face done. So I look
We
like
should
a
all
girl.
we should all get full face done and do a podcast.
Yes.
All like
Ooh, yeah.
Dragged
We'll
up.
have to record that one.
Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
look like I am technically dragged up because, Anyway, sorry. Okay.
Beautiful.
So this priest, let me just run through. First, I'll tell you, because Amanda brought up the pianist who thought she was right,
Yes.
and she then changed the order, even though it was printed in a freaking booklet.
We had a program.
We had a program. She changed the order because she's like, no, this is wrong. Here's the correct way to do it. The priest had no, he didn't. So he literally puts his arms up, starts waving, and goes, no. When she starts in the wrong thing, he's like, you do this first, and then go. But he literally stopped the entire goddamn mass. Well, it wasn't a full mass. That
was the whole thing.
He stopped the whole thing, corrected her. So it's like, Jesus, if you would have just listened to us, you old bat.
But no.
No.
She was like, nope, this is when we're going to do it. And I'm like, but that's not, the priest said, like, that's not,
Right.
we have to do it this time. She's like,
Yep.
nope, I know when it's supposed to be done.
No.
I've done
And she
weddings
was
so many
wrong,
times.
and he wouldn't let it just slide. No.
No, he wasn't going to let that fly because that was not the order.
I would love to think that there is an unspoken power dynamic happening, like a power
Oh, there
struggle.
totally was.
Yeah.
There totally was.
Yeah, there was.
Maybe there was that sexual tension. Like
Probably.
Lisa had.
probably.
Yeah.
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 I mean, he was probably a little older than her, but she was probably into it.
Yeah. The next thing I have, though, is the priest burped in the middle of the ceremony.
Yeah.
You sure did.
I didn't realize it was a burp. I thought he just hiccuped.
No, it was a
So
burp.
then after everyone's like, oh my God, the priest burped. I'm like, when? Because I just thought it was a hiccup. And
I
I was
remember,
like, oh, that's
though,
okay.
I remember being like, thinking it was funny, and it actually kind of loosened me up because I was really nervous still. So it was
I
fine.
just thought he hiccuped. I didn't care.
I remember, though, when he did throw his arms up and stopped everything, I was like really panicked at first. And then I realized everybody else is like giggling. And I'm like, okay, this is just funny. Let's just go with
It
it.
was fine. But it was just, I told you. I did everything I could to make this not be awkward.
Yeah.
Did you throw her a look when he was like correcting her and just look at her like, mm-hmm?
I did.
Who was right?
I
bitch?
did. I know that I did.
Good.
I can't tell you what I did.
Because you don't remember?
I
Because it's
don't.
not appropriate.
I don't know. I don't
Let's just say
remember.
because it's just too vulgar for this podcast.
I doubt it.
Oh, damn it.
But I mean, you can pretend.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Pretend all day long.
Next up, I have Amanda getting snot on me in the middle of
I
the.
remember that too.
I sure did.
Because she went, oh, I got snot on you.
I'm like, oh, I snotted on you. I'm sorry.
It was fun.
Yeah. And then also, he did not announce the end.
With the priest?
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
they're supposed to say, like, and now I present you with Mr. and Mrs. whatever. And he didn't do that. So, like, we were just kind of waiting there. And then it's, oh, I guess we're done.
We're done.
I guess we can just, all right, let's just walk back.
Ta-da!
And it was so awkward.
Remind me what happened with the candle, because
I thought something like it didn't light or something, but maybe I could be like mismatching that in my brain.
maybe.
I don't know. We'd have to watch the video.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and watch that.
Oh God.
What I do remember, though, is Carl melting into a puddle. I
Yeah.
have that on my list.
Yeah,
It was
you
very
guys-
hard to put them back together.
You guys were very warm.
It was a hot day.
I
Oh,
don't
I thought you
remem-
meant because Carl gets emotional at weddings.
No, he melted into a puddle because it was so hot.
I don't remember it being that hot. Like I know everybody says it was, but like I think
because
this
you were sleeveless.
I think
we all
this
had
is-
coats.
Oh, yeah.
which that was a thing too, because the lady at the church who retired abruptly and didn't tell anybody, who was like the coordinator, had asked me when we first were like talking about stuff. She's like, "Did you get your dress?" I'm like, "Yep, I just got it this weekend." And she's like, "Is it strapless? Because I know that that's really popular right now." And I was, "Yeah." And then she went into this, "Well, we just want to make sure that it's appropriate because sometimes brides will come down and father will be like, whoa, because there's so much being shown." And I'm
That's his problem.
well, right? And I was just thinking, like, do not tell me I can't return this dress. Like, and anybody who knows me in real life knows that I don't show
right.
anything. Like, especially not then. Like,
Not collarbone. Oh my god.
right? Like, oh my gosh, I have shoulders.
Ooh, you're
Ooh.
cracking clavicles.
I mean, I did have really nice shoulders. I will say that.
I mean, between the two of us, it's going to be me walking down the aisle with a tit hanging
Well,
out.
and actually, like the bridesmaids
Promise.
dresses that we
Yeah.
found, they were very appropriate for everybody because we had some busty gals and it was still minimal cleavage.
Right.
I thought we did a really good job. So I'm like, I was so offended. Because I'm just like, okay, I've never dressed like a whore bag like before in my life. Yeah, now's the time.
Yep.
Like, let me
Yep.
present myself to the church and all the world of like, hey, look, here's
I'm having sex tonight.
ooh. Like, oh my gosh. But whatever, it was fine.
Next on the list of silliness for our wedding.
I could have just, like, if we could have just left after, like, if Gary and I could have just left, that would have been fine.
Yeah.
We did not need anything else.
No, not at all.
But
Next on the list I have is just the photographer. He was a great guy. He really was.
he did
But
my senior pictures.
it was just, he literally admitted to me and Amanda at the church after we're like all set up and going through. He's like, you know, this is pretty much my last wedding. And I wasn't even, I was already done. But then I said, oh, okay, I'll do one more. But I just pretty much hate this. And we're just like, Jesus Christ, man, why didn't you say that before?
Yeah. So, like, he did the photos at my sister's wedding and it was beautiful. Like, they were great.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that he did not like advance in anything.
Anything, he went backwards.
He sure did.
Oh,
so we
no.
got married in 2006. Our pictures look like we got married in like the 70s or 80s.
They do. Yeah.
Oh.
Like,
Well, he made us do that thing
He
where
did,
he's like,
like, the
okay,
really-
now have all the groomsmen like line up around Gary, and Ryan, you point to your watch, and Gary act like we're late.
Yeah.
Like,
And that
we
was
had to do all
fun.
these fun little like.
Did you have to do the one where you're like trying to keep him from running out of the
Yeah,
church?
I think so. Yeah.
'Cause
I
they
do
had,
believe that they
all the men in my dad's, they all had to do that.
Yes.
They all have
Mhm.
those pictures.
yes. So
Yeah.
we have those poses.
And those were good, but the ones in the church
The-
look
they
like
were
they're out
awful.
of the 80s.
Like, we
It's-
had like all the pictures of me and the bridal party before the church, before everything. So first of all, the church we got married in was not beautiful. It's a
It was
modern.
decent.
It was a modern church, but like not like extravagant.
It was a modest
Right.
church.
Yes. So like the carpet was a really unattractive brown flecked
Yeah.
Yeah.
kind of deal, and the pews were also carpeted in that. So it was just it's not a pretty church. So the bridal party, we got ready in like, I don't know if it's a conference room or something.
I remember
something
it was,
like that.
Weird little.
So it's like just this big room, and it's got the mini blinds behind me. It is not aesthetically pleasing at all. So I'm beautiful, like I'm like the most beautiful peacock ever in front of these like beige mini blinds in a conference room
love
at
it.
the church. And that's where like all of our bridesmaids pictures are. Like my picture with my parents. And then they did this stupid thing where like they spread out your train and they put all the bouquets on top of the train. They never took the fucking flowers off. So I don't have any picture with just like my train spread out, which was my favorite part of the dress. That it's all covered in the stupid flowers, like the bouquets. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, like
so
like,
he wasn't like, hey, let's go outside and do.
No.
Okay.
The men did, but it was too hot, and you can really tell by the pictures like he'd checked out.
Oh,
he
yeah.
He should have just been upfront with us and said, guys, I'm done, but thanks.
That would have been fine. Because like my senior pictures, he was great.
Right.
Like
right.
we took pictures at his house, like he had a little studio at his house, and like his yard was beautiful. Like he had different setups, and my senior pictures were really, really pretty. But a lot happens in 4 years, apparently. And no, it was awful. Our pictures are just fucking terrible.
Do you remember though? He at one point he had his camera and he's like, "All right, now everybody stand like this." And I said, "I would, but I don't have a camera." And like, I don't remember who was next to me, but it was like a hand grenade joke. Like took her like 5 seconds, and she was like, "Oh."
Yeah,
Nice.
I don't have a camera.
It was an interesting time.
Yeah, and that brings us to the reception.
Ooh, reception.
So the reception, oh gosh, this was at a hotel that no longer exists because the city finally had the good sense to tear it down.
It was a Days Inn.
It was. And
their reader board said, "Congratulations, Amanda Gary."
Yes.
yeah, because we're just one person at that point. We lit the candle.
They
we
saw
were
the
one.
candle thing, so they're like, "It's one person."
Like we don't need any spaces.
But all in all, I mean, when Amanda and I remember going there and doing the pre-work where we had the meeting with the salesperson, and it looked really promising, but you could tell later that shit was just falling apart because they were having troubles that she was very good at hiding.
Do you remember how excited we were to swim in the pool? And it was like, "Oh, the pool closes at 10." We're like, "Cool, our reception goes to like 11, you jerks."
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I had said, we'll cut our own cake. I want cream puffs.
Yep.
They
had this weird thing where it's like, we'll either cut the cake for you or you get cream puffs.
And I was like, I can cut a cake. I can't really, but I would do it for cream puffs. And then she didn't show up to the wedding, and there were no fucking cream puffs.
No cream
None.
puffs.
And then they cut the cake.
They cut the cake without us.
Oh.
There's no picture of Amanda and me doing the first cut.
We have a pretend one.
We have a pretend one, but
because our photographer didn't want to stay.
Yeah. That's true.
He didn't want to stay, so we just pretended to do
but
it.
The fact that like somebody came up to us and like they're sending cake out, and Amanda and like, we never fucking cut any cake. Where are they getting this cake from? And they're like, oh, it's
well, and I think someone said, if you want cake, you should go get some because it's almost out. And I was, what? I didn't get any cake. I wanted my dress and I wanted my cake. That was really it. Everything else I was very flexible on.
Yeah. And then Ryan was awesome enough to get sour milk.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. So I mean that's pretty classy of a place where they serve milk. And
you know how it is. They're like, "Here's the head table. Here's your glass for champagne and whatever else." And it's like, "Can I have some milk?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, sure." And they bring us, I don't remember, it was me and one other person at least had milk. I don't remember. But I like put it up to my face. I'm like, "Oh,
Yep.
I'm like, I think this is sour." And then you checked it and you checked it.
Yep.
And then just to be jerks, we had Gary's mom check
Well,
it.
it wasn't to be jerks, but
It was
because we knew that she would do something about
Yeah,
it.
because
That's true.
I did yell at somebody and then I was like, I'm really sorry. This is not your fault. I apologize. I don't want to be that person, but I'm very frustrated.
Then they brought us new milk and it was fine.
Oh, okay. You
Yeah,
know what?
that's
That I
nice.
forgot. Yeah, they cut the cake. They gave us sour milk.
They didn't have the pool for us.
They didn't have the pool. And then after the reception was the DJ and the dance. And our DJ did not listen to a goddamn thing that we asked.
Nope.
They're like, "Oh, what music do you want to play?" We're like, "You can play old country like Johnny Cash, but no
new
like
country.
modern country." Amanda and I don't care for it. I'm pretty sure anyone that came up and requested something, the DJ would just play it.
So in my head, I specifically was thinking, I do not want the song Honky Tonk Badonkadonk
Oh, you got
played
that song, didn't
at
you?
my reception. And it sure was played. And I'm like, oh my God. That's like the one freaking song I was thinking.
Yeah.
But whatever.
And
It's fine.
We just wanted to do like the standard dances, like our first dance
Mm-hmm.
and the mother-son dance and the daughter-father dance.
My dad was wasted.
Well, yeah.
I was so mad.
Did you do the dollar dance?
We did.
We did do the dollar dance.
There was a much larger line for Gary. He was much more in demand. I danced with
I think people felt sorry for me.
I don't think that was it. I danced with for a lot of songs, which was fine. and I danced a lot. He and I danced a bunch. I danced with him probably more than I danced with you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I think the reason I say, though, that people felt sorry for me, though, is because one thing that we requested was, the standard dances and no, like, silly groom's dance thing that were, when they do, like, embarrassing stuff where, like, oh, we're going to make the groom dance and he has to dance down this, and we're all, like, it's a dancing line and he's got to, like, dance his way down and then he, like, does something silly.
And not only that, but he made Amanda sit on my knee.
Yeah, that's
so
awkward.
My other knee was on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Instead of just doing something quick, it was like this 5-minute ordeal, and I'm like,
right.
It wasn't that Amanda weighed too much or anything, but like my knee on the floor was like, this hurts. I need
it was
to
very
move.
awkward.
And it wasn't like I'd be like, Amanda, stand up for a second, I gotta switch legs or something. It was like, oh, this fucking sucks.
Yeah. But to anybody that knows me, that kind of stuff is not me. And I specifically said, we're not gonna do that. But then he said afterwards, no, this other person said we were. And I'm like, are they paying you? No, I am.
No, and he's full of shit too, because none of us said any of the thing of the sort.
Well, and he asked me, but I was very confused as to what he was talking about. And I'm like, yeah, I thought, like, I don't know. I didn't know what he was talking about.
Because what he wanted to do was the bridal party stood as like a line, and then Gary was at the other end, and he was supposed to dance towards us, and we were supposed to like give him thumbs up if he did the right dance, and it was supposed to be like the B. Arthur finger shake.
Oh.
But like we couldn't tell him, but we're trying to like be like, Gary, just do this, just do that, and it'll be over. But how do you communicate that?
Yeah, I
across
didn't know
the
what
room?
the hell was going on.
Yeah.
So weird.
It was just one of those things where, oh no, look at the groom. He just keeps failing and it's funny, haha, which works for some weddings and people love that shit, but that's not me.
No, it was awful.
So that's why I said I think people just felt sorry for me, and that's why I won at the dollar dance.
You won.
I didn't know it was a contest.
I didn't know either.
Don't you combine the money at the end?
We do.
Okay,
yeah.
I was gonna say.
I think we were all winners.
Yeah.
I think we were all winners.
But yeah, that was
Also, interesting fact, my
awkward.
very first Facebook picture was me dancing at your wedding.
Oh, very
But
nice.
that was all the stuff I had written down for our wedding, but I actually just remembered one. And I'm going to say it. So right after the wedding, when we got to the hotel and before we came down to the reception, we went up to our room and we put like our stuff away.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were supposed to come down. Well, Amanda and I were like, ooh, we're newlyweds. This is the first time we're alone. So we smooched a bit, right? And then we get down there. And Amanda's, it wasn't your maid of honor, but
It was my best friend from high
her
school.
best friend. So I think it was the second runner-up. Wasn't she the second person standing, or was?
I think so, because she was matched up with...
Yeah.
Either
Yes.
way,
Yes.
And goes thinking it's a joke. You're like, oh, geez, Amanda, you got a hickey. Thinking it was like she burned herself with a curling iron or something. And at that moment, Amanda and I both look at with this panicked look of, oh, Jesus Christ, we thought people wouldn't notice, but it is a hickey. And then she goes, oh, I can fix that. She pulls out some makeup and covers it up.
It was the one and only time Gary ever gave me a
I was just really excited, apparently.
That never happened.
You know who
before.
else was really excited at your wedding?
Ooh.
I think our aunt.
Oh, yeah?
I believe that I felt like maybe she had a little something to drink and was loosen up a little bit. And
Didn't your dad and my mom dance a bunch?
Yeah,
I
they
don't
did.
know.
They
They
did.
did,
They
but
polka.
my dad was busy like stripping at some point,
I remember
which
that.
was
I remember that.
amazing.
Gary's mom
but
did
our
the splits.
aunt danced with my husband like all night long. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
what is going on here?
That's a good time.
They're doing a wife swap.
But yeah, Amanda is correct. Your dad, Courtney, he wanted to dance. And
And my mom can polka.
yeah.
See?
So
Yeah,
that was a
there
good
you
time.
go.
They had a great
Carl,
time.
Carl and I were polkaing, and some old lady who I'm not sure who she was. She was like,
Did she tell you you're doing it wrong?
no, she said
Because my
something.
mom would.
She said something to the effect of like, "Let me cut in so you poor boys don't have to dance together." And we're like, "Well, we're a couple, so it's fine."
It was probably a great aunt or
Aw.
something.
It was cute, but we're like, "No, we're a couple, it's fine." Oh,
It was
okay.
probably my mom. I don't know.
I have
No.
I don't
No.
even know who was all at our wedding because, like, I really
was there.
didn't want to invite a bunch of people, but my dad insisted that we needed to invite all of his cousins
Yeah.
and like pretty much all of his living relatives. And like, I don't know who these people are. It didn't matter.
I know was there
Was there?
because
Mhm.
I wished him to die.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He drove.
Yeah.
He drove us to the.
So it was dating a friend of ours, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
For a long time. So he was at this wedding. He was at the reception. Ryan was tired, and Ryan does not like being like poked or punched or touched in the head. Like it's just it freaks me out. I get very like, well, wants to get my attention. So does he tap my shoulder? Does he pull my sleeve? No, he smacks me on the top of the head, and I kind of flipped out because it was like, what the fuck just happened? And I'm like, what is wrong with you? And I just kind of screamed at him. I'm like, God, you should die. Which then, of course, made Carl mad at me. But I'm like, I'm the one who got smacked in the head for no reason. And then I went over to him later. I'm like, I don't hope you die. He's like, it's fine. I'm like, okay, you drunk asshole.
Yeah.
Oh God.
But that's all the joys of our wedding that I had.
Yeah.
Do you have any more though, or Amanda, or should we pass this wedding baton again?
I think we could probably. I did put I had, I don't know if anybody cares about this, but like I had thigh highs and I didn't think to put them on before I put the dress on. So there's a picture of me with my leg like up in the air and like my skirt's all hiked up, but I tried to put them on because I couldn't reach.
Oh,
Cute.
So yeah, I'm a classy bitch.
And I'm a dumb whore. That's why we're friends.
Perfect. Yeah, it's perfect.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
well then, Courtney, do you have anything you want to bring up?
I guess I didn't really talk about my own, but
Let's talk about that. I was there.
you were the little video man, and you did amazing.
Thank you. We should watch your video. We should watch that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the VHS somewhere.
But let me just go into that because I was actually super honored and super touched. When Courtney got married, she had her professional photographer.
It was probably better than ours.
Oh, yes, he was good. But she said for the video part, she wanted me to do it because she wanted that special Gary touch. So I walked around with a camera and filmed everything and recorded the ceremony and
us getting our hair done to everything.
And it was a high honor to do that for you.
You didn't even offer to record ours.
I didn't because I paid somebody else to.
I was making a joke.
Oh,
okay. It didn't land.
No worries.
Well,
that in itself was good.
I've got a few little like peak moments of the wedding situation of my own. I was pretty young. I think I was 21 when Lyle and I were married. 22, just turned 22. And just like kind of leading up to the wedding, all the little rickety shit that you have to do that's just stressful, that you have to, like making the little wedding favors and the programs and all that stuff. Well, we've talked about my crazy grandma, Valoris, and I went over to my Aunt Michelle's house one day and my grandma was there and we were trying to like make like they looked like roses. They were like 2 Hershey Kisses put together. Oh yeah. And then you wrapped them and whatever. Well, my grandma, who, as we mentioned before, was a klepto, she gathered all of my roses and she's like stuffing them in her sleeves and her like waistband of her pants, and she's like got like a big clump in there, and I just know they're fucking melting, and that's all I can think of. I'm like, and my aunt keeps like giving her more and more to hold on to, and I'm like, just stop it, they're melting, it's getting gross. And I was just, I don't know, just getting frustrated and irritated. Well, shortly after we finished like wrapping them all, wrapping them all up, my grandma says, say, because she always started everything with that, say, my pants feel tight. I'm like, well, no shit, because you have got everything hoarded in the waistband of your pantaloons. So no joke, she pulls the waistband of her pants out, probably a foot from like her stomach, just holding them wide open. She's like, feel this. It just, they feel so tight. And she kept repeating it and repeating it and repeating it. So finally I went over to her and I stuck my hand in the waistband of her pants just in time for my Aunt Michelle to come around the corner and say, Christ, get your hand out of your grandma's pants. No, that's like an inside joke. Courtney, get your hands out of grandma's pants. But yeah, I got right in there. She said, oh boy, they're tight. I'm like, no. Michelle's like, you knew they weren't tight. You like pulled them out a foot. I'm like, I know, but I was tired of hearing, feel my pants, they're tight. So I gave in. I got my hand right in there.
How did I not get that on video?
I don't know.
Oh man, because
get your hand out of grandma's pants.
Right?
Now going up like to the wedding parts, we also got ready at the church. Now, there wasn't like a nice area for you to get ready. I got ready in the nursery. Well, actually, my bridesmaids got ready in the nursery. I got ready in the Sunday school room.
Oh,
and
sure.
now I've got this like great big like gown, but I can't hold it up and like button it or zip it. And my maid of honor has like went AWOL. Hands are probably in grandma's pants. I don't. But I'm trying to get my dress on without completely like getting caught like naked. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my Aunt Michelle comes in, of course, and she's trying to help me with my dress. And I'm trying to like get it up. And one thing or another, my dress ends up going down to my ankles. And I'm just standing there in my underwear. No bra, nothing, just tits out right in the nursery or in the activity room, the Sunday school room. I'm like, oh, this is nice. But Aunt Michelle helped me get my shit back together. Then it comes up to like the ceremony part. And I'm like totally a person of like, is there, I'm looking for signs. Like, is there some reason that I shouldn't, like I knew in my heart this is the right decision. But like, if there's something, let there be a sign to stop me now. If there's like something I shouldn't be doing.
If Hershey Kisses fall out of grandma's pants.
Yeah.
God, I hope not.
That could be a sign, but let's hear
right?
it. Let's hear what you got.
So I'm standing there on the edge of, waiting to walk into the door into the church. I'm standing there with my dad, and my doors open up, the song starts, and I start walking down the aisle, and I look up at our pastor, and I'm like, holy fuck me running. He shaved his beard. I've never seen him without a beard. And I'm like, is this the sign, God? And I'm looking like, I don't even recognize, like he was one of my best friend's dads. I've never seen him without a beard. And I'm like, holy shit, this is it. This is the sign. But I still did it. And I'm glad I did it.
There you go.
But I thought that was it.
My dad did that for my brother's wedding.
Yeah.
He shaved his mustache.
But that wasn't on
It wasn't on purpose. Like, it got uneven, and I kept trying to even it out, and then he had to shave it off. But
It happens.
I, showed up, and I'm like, what the hell happened to your face? I've never seen you without a mustache. What are you doing? Like, now's not the time.
Right?
That was not the time to experiment.
Yeah, like,
Father.
don't experiment before a wedding. Like, what the hell are you
Exactly.
doing?
Right.
And then they got that weird, like, where it's not tanned.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like just this naked.
Yeah. I was
Spot.
just appalled.
I hear you, sister.
I was a Stevened.
almost stopped the wedding right there.
Man, I don't think I ever knew that, Courtney.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Horrified. So then it comes up to the reception.
Mm-hmm.
We had the reception at a golf course.
A beautiful golf course. And it was really beautiful that day too.
Yeah, it was. It was cold, but it was really pretty day.
Mm-hmm.
We had our meal, and we're a very traditional family. So, like the parents of the bride are supposed to pay for the meal. The father of the groom pays for the whatever, how it usually goes. But so my mom and dad paid for the meal itself. So they had planned for let's say 210, but my mom sat there in the room, and she counted every fucker in there.
Oh my God.
And pulled one of the waitresses over and said, I should have 8 meals coming. I'm like, are you serious? So out comes the waitress with a big stack of styrofoam boxes.
Oh my God.
Of the additional meals that she paid for. And I'm watching this go down, and she has them slide it underneath their table. All these stacks of styrofoam containers. And I'm like, holy shit. I'm really watching this go down. I mean, as you know, the parents of the bride and groom usually sit right there in front, and there she is with the stacks. Stacks of steaks, stacks of chicken Alfredo.
Nice.
All pushed under there. Super embarrassed. So the other, I would say, interesting part of my wedding was my dad made my cake, and it was beautiful. It took up a whole entire table. It wasn't just stacked up. It was sprawled out, and it had fresh roses wove all around the different things. But what made it really unique is he had bought goldfish, and he had like beta goldfish in all these different like vases and bowls that held like different layers of the cake and stuff up. And it was really, really cool.
Yeah, there was fish in her cake. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But afterwards, we're like, now like, okay, so now we have fish to take care of. So my parents took home the goldfish, and they had them like always sitting on their like, it was like a coffee table in their living room.
Mm-hmm.
And my cat was obsessed with the fish. He never wanted to eat him. His name was Heinrich, by the way. But Heinrich always had to drink out of the bowl that the goldfish from the cake were in. He would never drink out of his regular water dish. It had to be the goldfish bowl. And sometimes, like if my parents were out of town for the weekend, they'd come back and like the goldfish are like swimming sideways because Heinrich drank all the water out of it. And then once the goldfish died, they had to keep getting more goldfish so that my cat wouldn't get dehydrated. So that's that story.
That's awesome. I didn't know that about Heinrich.
Yeah.
I love the fish swimming sideways. Like, oh, we only got like an inch of water here.
Exactly.
You know,
and those fish for beta, they like live forever.
That's true. Yeah, they're a hardy breed.
I was totally going to say the word hardy. Good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you weren't going to mention it, I was going to bring up the cake because it was beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think your dad was kind enough to actually do the cake for my sister's weddings too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He made tiramisu, I remember, for
Oh, that's right.
your one sister. I don't know if he did your other sisters. I'm not
I
sure.
don't remember, but yeah. Either way, that was super nice of him.
We wanted him to make our cake, but we were too far away.
Yeah,
true.
he was.
Well,
he did. Yeah, he was worried about your sisters too, because it's like, oh, it's an hour in the car, and a lot can happen.
Yeah, no
You
kidding.
know, but-
that turned out perfect.
Yeah. And I also had one groomsman with like they somehow or another ordered him the wrong pants, and they were like skin tight. They were like spandex. It
Was he a hit with the bridesmaid?
Yes. You know it. It was also the pastor's son, so
ooh, even better.
Well, you actually had some members of your wedding party that actually hooked up and got married, didn't you?
Oh, I almost forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, my maid of honor was my high school friend that like all through high school we were best friends. And then our groom, what's the main groom guy? The best man was my husband's brother. And the first time they ever met was at our reception. And at that point she was dating somebody else. And she's like, Courtney, there's that guy over there with the mullet. He keeps looking at me. And I'm like, oh, that would be my soon-to-be brother-in-law. He is staring at you. It is a little awkward. And he was like total like Wisconsin tuxedo, the jean jacket, the matching jeans, mullet.
Nice. Yeah.
And she's like kind of creeped out by him. And then the next day we obviously get married and they're signing our like marriage certificate. And it's funny because the picture that our photographer took shows him like kind of looking up at her as he's got the pen in his hand, but he is completely looking right at her tits. And it is so funny. And
so obviously she wore a dress that your other lady at Amanda's wedding would not have.
Well, what doesn't work for the Catholics or the Catholics works just fine for the Presbyterians. We're loosey-goosey that way. But within 2 months, she had broken up with her boyfriend and was pregnant with my nephew. So,
oh, damn.
Yeah. Yeah. And when we did the dollar dance that night, my brother-in-law said, so Courtney, that woman right there, my maid of honor, he says, I'm going to marry her someday and she is going to help me raise my daughters. And literally 3 years later, he married her. So
sometimes
he wasn't wrong. Kind of creepy.
At my sister's wedding. So remember, I'm 14.
Ooh.
Yes. My sister had a groomsman and his wife stand up together. And this was like, the guy was my brother's age. So he was, 19. I don't know. And he was already married to, I think she might have been a little bit older, but like, I don't know. So he told my sister or my brother-in-law, I don't know who he told, but basically like Amanda, the 14-year-old, better hope he's not divorced by the time I'm 18 because he wanted some of that crying mess.
It was the socks. It was the socks.
Oh my.
But then
it was the loafers.
Yeah, I was like, Really did it. So I was really grossed out by that when I learned that. But then
I'm grossed out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of cute, but still, it was like
inappropriate.
Yes.
Right.
But his wife sat next to me at the head table, and I am 14 and I am a rule follower, like through and through.
We've covered that in previous podcasts.
I signed an athletic code. Like
That's why she doesn't want to start a Waffle House Fight Club with me.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. So I am sitting at this table and they give champagne, right? And I'm like, I don't want to drink that. Like, I just want like a Coke.
Mm-hmm.
And the girl, the lady that's sitting next to me, she's like kind of drunk already, as one is. And she's like, how old are you? I'm like, I'm 14. And she's like, oh, hell, I was having sex at that time. You can go ahead and drink that. And I was just like, oh my God. Like, what is this? Like, who am I sitting by? This is like so inappropriate.
Hey, did they ever get divorced?
They sure did get divorced. And he married a different girl that used to be my neighbor with the same name as me. Yes, and they're also divorced. But I'm like, he really did want an Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, he did.
My cousin, my little cousin who was an usher in our wedding,
Mm-hmm.
he's just the sweetest thing. When he was little, I would babysit. And I remember once he told me he was going to marry me. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute. Like, he just loves me. And he married an Amanda.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I'm like, look at that.
Yeah.
But
Would you
she's-
look at that?
Yeah, I think it's just a popular name, but
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
still funny. But yeah, so that was like my sister's creepy part of the wedding. I'm like, that is disgusting.
I brought my own Diet Coke to my sister's wedding.
Oh,
Nice.
So I had I think it was a 12-pack of Diet Coke under the main table.
Oh, very nice.
smart.
Even though everybody was like, there's an open bar with Diet Coke right there. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but it's not room temperature Diet Coke.
Yeah.
And it's not within my reach right
Right.
here under
Right.
the table.
This is very
So-
convenient.
Yeah.
I had my eyes open to a new drink at Gary and Amanda's wedding.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Was it
And-
Spanish water?
No, I don't know what that is.
Wait, you tell us what you're gonna say, and then I'll fill you in on Spanish water.
According to your sister, it was called a Rattler.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's like half Sprite and half beer.
Mm-hmm. It's a German thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh, your mom
And-
was really into that for a while.
Lisa and I both have the look of disgust.
We're both
I
like,
know.
ew.
It's actually
I'm not a
not
beer
terrible.
person, but that's the only way that I can drink beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they also do it with apple juice or
Probably.
some other
Oh.
juices.
I know Gary's mom was really into it when we started dating.
The only way I can
She was
drink
also
beer.
into mulattes for a very
Oh,
long
yes.
time.
Yes, she was.
Well, she brought that back from Germany. Remember when they went to Germany, and that was when we had the sleepover, and Oreo
Burped.
after we watched scary movies all night.
And
We're
we-
like, what the fuck?
What was that noise? I think it's weird. Like, there's things that you do as a teenager that, looking back, seem fine for then, but like the idea, like that Gary and I slept in his parents' bed that night, like it's just like that'd be weird to do now. But,
Yeah.
16-year-olds, who cares? It's
Yeah.
cool.
Next time they leave town, we're all going to.
I
To Gary's
love a
parents.
Jeff and Nancy sleepover house.
Oh yeah.
This is Jeff and Nancy's house sleepover.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I got keys. Let's do it.
Huh?
Back in my day, we didn't need keys. They never locked that door.
That's
They
true.
did not.
That's true.
But then someone walked into the house when Nancy was there and it freaked her
Yeah,
out.
and now
Well,
they have
yeah.
cameras.
Which
Well,
I
like
was
a stranger?
well, I was like, weird. Like,
Yeah, it was a stranger. Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I grew up in the country and I was like, you guys don't lock your doors here? We don't lock our doors, but we live in the middle of nowhere. You guys like live in town.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Mhm.
whatever. But Spanish water, Gary, fill us
yes.
in.
So Amanda's brother was freewheeling and fancy free at our wedding. He was having a great time. Now, anytime people would be like, hey, Ben, what are you drinking? He would be like, no, this isn't alcohol. This is Spanish water. And he was just drinking wine, right? Yeah.
I think
It was
probably
just-
from the bottle.
It was just wine right from the bottle. And just anybody would be like, no, this is Spanish water. And it was,
Oh, and it's like hilarious because my brother is very quiet, but oh man, he is like a fun drunk.
yeah.
That was at his wedding. So they had like their wedding, and then they had like with like kind of a reception, and then they had another just reception back home. But like at his wedding, he was so freaking drunk. Like the caterers needed to go, and it was like 10 o'clock at night, and he still hadn't eaten. And he's like, I paid for this. They can wait for me. And we're like, they really can't. Like, you need to just fucking eat your food. Like, chill. But he does not take pictures. And if he does, it's always like a very awkward
The vampire.
face.
Yeah.
Like, He does not have a good fake smile at all, but he took pictures with everybody and he was happy. And they were like the best pictures ever. And I was just like, who is this person? And it was amazing. His wife was pretty irritated with him by the end because he was very, very drunk.
So let me tell you about Ben's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
When we went there, so at Ben's wedding, Amanda and I, we were engaged by then, right?
Yes.
So I'm already like kind of a part of the family and I'm feeling very into the family.
Mm-hmm.
So we go there, Amanda's standing up. I'm not standing up, but her family is already super close with me. Well, my niece, Sierra, needed to pee.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't my niece then because we weren't married, but
Right.
she's my niece.
She took to Gary immediately.
Yeah, we were friends. Because that was, as we mentioned
They were
in a
so
previous
littles.
episode, even when Amanda was over in Spain, I still drove over to Green Bay to go to her birthday party. So anyway, Sierra had to pee. So I'm like, okay, I'll take her to pee because, you know, her mom and dad can't miss this. So I go, okay, Sierra, we go over here. And there's no bathrooms down there because we were like down in a grassy area.
Yeah, there was like a little hill.
Yeah.
And like the house. So it was the Plummer Mansion in Rochester.
Yeah, for anyone in the Rochester, Minnesota area, it was the Plummer House.
Yeah, so like the house is kind of on top of like it wasn't like a big hill, but you know,
It's
a
a
gradual.
knoll.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we were pretty far from the house, and I think we wanted Sierra to just pee in the bushes.
So you were
She was-
ironically at the plumber
Yes.
Yeah.
house with
Yes.
no plumbing.
Correct.
Right.
Very good point. So I want to say it was Amanda's mom who's like, just have her go pee in the woods. Nobody's going to
Yeah.
care. But Sierra would have none of that. She was like, no. So I had to walk her up to the house. We had to find a bathroom. And then when we did, she went. Everything was good. We come back and I'm ready to be quiet and get a seat and watch the ceremony. No, the whole thing happened. It was done.
It was really fast.
100% done. So then it's time to go up and go do the dinner thing, which we already covered that Ben didn't really eat anything because he
No.
was busy with the Spanish water.
Yes.
Somehow the bride's family, not her direct family, but indirect
Like,
family,
yeah, I don't-
got the idea that I was the help. And I was pretty much bossed around the entire time, telling, move this chair over here for this aunt, move this over here. I'm like, what? Like, I'm closer to the family than you are, guys. I'm about to marry this gal and become like their brother-in-law. But I didn't. Yeah.
Like they legit thought you
Yeah.
worked.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So he was like moving stuff.
I barely got to sit and eat because I had to move stuff for. And you think they'd like catch on the fact that I was like sitting right next to the main
Yeah.
table,
No.
but no.
Right? Well, it's so nice they let the help sit at the table and
Right?
eat.
Yes, we're
the
very
family.
very progressive in the Rochester area.
So yeah, so shout out to Sierra. That was a great time.
Yes.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, she was not having it. And there, when that girl had her mind made up, like there was no changing it.
Yeah, but all in all, it was a beautiful wedding. And then
Hey,
yeah,
Ryan.
the whole time. Oh, I'm sorry. Hey Ryan.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say it was funny because like the whole time I was at the Plummer House, like we didn't know what the history of the Plummer House was, and now because I work for Mayo, I can recite all of the history of the Plummer family and
Yeah.
all that crap.
Well, because like Kate's from Rochester and her mom worked at Mayo and whatever. So like I remember her telling us about this Plummer House. And I'm like, so you're gonna get married at like an old house? Okay.
Yeah,
Like I did not get.
Yeah.
And like I guess it's pretty. I don't know.
Plummer was just his last name. He was
Like-
one of the founding founders. The founding
The founding founders.
founding
Not
founders.
one of the non-founding fathers, but one of
Right.
the founding founders.
Okay, gotcha.
Of Mayo Clinic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like,
Ryan.
hands.
But
I think you have another wedding story.
I do.
I want to hear it.
Tell me about it.
That's like, I love the complete lack of segue. Just like, hey, Ryan. Okay.
Don't make me put my tit on your neck.
Oh, baby. So Carl and I had to go to many, many weddings.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when you're with your significant other, you sit together, you dance, you do all sorts of things. But when you're at like a wedding that's not a family member, it's like a friend.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really know a lot of the people there.
Yeah,
you know
I
some.
Yeah.
Yep,
But
I know what you mean. Yep.
so we're at this table with like aunts and uncles, and this old dude at the table. I don't know if he was with someone or whatever, but he goes, "Oh, so did you fellas come stag?" And we're like, "No, we're here together." And he's like, "Oh," and then of course, wit of the staircase as we're driving home from lacrosse, I was like, we should have said no. We came here fag. That would have rattled that old man's cage.
Sure would.
I was in a wedding of my cousin, and when they did the mother-son dance, which is cute and sweet.
Oh, yeah.
But you have to pick an appropriate song.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Eric Clapton's Wonderful Tonight
Oh,
is not a mother-son song.
No.
Wait.
It's like playing, and Carl's like, isn't this song kind of like romantic?
Yes.
For the, like, yeah, I don't know why that's the song playing for my aunt and cousin to be dancing to, but whatever.
When my son and I danced on Saturday, we did the mother-son dance, and it's very emotional for me because I'm his stepmom technically. So it's like he's my baby boy, but it's just such an honor to be considered for that that stage of his wedding. So I was really, really honored, and so it took us a lot of trying to figure out what dance we should or what song we should do. But we picked the song "Dirt" by Florida Georgia Line, and it could be taken as kind of like, I don't know. But to know Dustin, it makes sense. So I had brought, because it was, like I said, it was important for him to get married at our family farm. So he wanted like that. So I went out, I took Devin, actually made Devin do it, but filled a little like mason jar with some of the dirt from the field.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I wrote on there, like, remember your roots and where you came from. And then I gave him that jar when we started to dance. So Dustin, he looks at it and then he puts it down on the side of the stage, kind of where we're dancing. And the whole time, his wife now thinks that I somehow or another managed to pilfer his mother's ashes because she's passed away. So she's like, Courtney, I really thought that you brought his mom's ashes, and I was wondering how you got a hold of them. I'm like, probably not. She was so like concerned and confused. She's like, how did you do that? She says, I thought for the longest time that it was his mom's ashes. But anyways, I'm sorry.
No. It's I can see that. But yeah. No, it's like a mason jar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think more ashes should be in a mason jar.
Yes.
Got a hypothetical wedding reception for
it.
you. So Carl and I are always thinking about things that we would do that would like make other people be like, that's weird. And one of the things we thought would be great is if our first dance would be the song Old Flames by Dolly Parton and play like on a screen, just like a slideshow of our exes.
Oh my gosh, you'd have to play the song like 27 times. We've taken more pictures of this biscuit.
That's sex partners, not people we dated. Get a clue, Courtney. Those are not the same thing.
I'll tone it down over here.
No, it's okay. I like that idea, though. That's clever.
Because we always think, and part of me is like, I want every song that plays to have something visual playing too, like the way the music video or, something like that.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Would you like honky tonk, badonky donk?
No,
played?
Probably not. But
interesting. I didn't either.
They played.
That's the thing. People are like, well, DJ. I'm like, I wouldn't get a DJ. I'd be like, nope, this is what we're doing. We're going to have a playlist and this is the songs and suck it.
They played She Thinks My Tractor's Sexy 3 times at my wedding.
That's appropriate for you.
3 times in a row or just 3 times periodically?
Just periodically.
It was a real big hit.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes there's like a song you really want to dance to and they play it really early and you're like, everyone's still eating, you jerk.
Yeah.
So I could see going up and be like, can you play that one again so we can dance to it? At my cousin's wedding last year, my brother was the DJ and I was kind of ticked at him. Not at him, but he was like, oh, if you have requests, just come on up. And I'm like, oh my God, because I was really great, like grooving on the Pointer Sisters Neutron dance. So I asked him to play it. I like wrote it down for him and everything. And like an hour goes by, hour and a half. And I said something to Mom, I'm like, is he going to play my song or what? He's playing like all these songs that I know got requested after. So she went up there and asked, and he goes, well, I don't know if anyone's going to know it. Well, someone requested it. So at least one person will be dancing to it. So play the damn song. But he had no problem playing, what's it called? The AC/DC song, Thunder.
Oh, Thunderstruck.
And that to me is not a dancing wedding song, but the Hicks at the wedding stood in a circle and danced to it. I'm like, okay, but you didn't question
dance to that song.
You didn't question about people dancing to that, but Neutron dance. Oh God, who's gonna dance to that? Everybody. It was funny. I tease him about it all the time.
So apparently, it was not beneficial to be a relative.
No,
because then he's like, I'm going to shut that down.
Yeah. two of my sons, they were having a lot of fun Saturday night at the reception and the dance part. And we were doing the dollar dance, and I went up to dance with Dustin for the dollar dance, and I don't even remember what song it was, but it wasn't really appropriate to twerk to, but I just decided that I would give it a fair shake.
Did you put a leg up?
Well, you bet your ass I did.
Thank God.
You get better action when you have one leg up. I even got my dad to twerk with one leg up in the air. It was good times.
Wow.
Well, Dustin, he just backed right into my ass, and we were quite the showstopper there for a second. Well, Trenton, he looks at us and he's like, I'm getting in on this. Where's Wicker Biscuit now? And he really wished that the rest of the gang could have been there because we would all been twerking like a big old circle twerk.
Well, I mean, I would have just been filming it, but...
I'm now madly in love with the phrase circle twerk.
No.
Circle twerk. I love it.
I don't think I can twerk.
I love it.
A circle twerk?
Yes.
We'll film, Amanda. We'll get all the different angles.
I feel like Wicker Biscuit needs to trademark this.
I don't know how to twerk.
A circle twerk.
Well, the key is, and Courtney will show you, you put one leg up and it just naturally flows.
It becomes much more natural.
What's really moving?
Your butt.
I feel like my legs move more.
No.
Like
It's your
just in
butt.
general, it's like a lot of jiggles.
Yeah.
And Ryan's balls.
Oh,
True.
Depending on what underwear I'm wearing, but
fair.
yeah.
Well, hopefully you'd wear the perfect underwear for when we do our circle twerk.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so did you guys do anything fun after your wedding or any weddings that you had been to?
You know, I want to know, 'cause I was trying to remember this. I remember after you guys got married, like between the wedding and the reception, you guys had to take pictures together, just the two of you. But Carl and I were with you, and I don't remember, were we in any of the pictures or did we just go with you guys?
I don't remember.
It was like we had to walk around like the hotel, and there was like a walkway that they wanted to take pictures on.
Did we get pictures there?
Remember.
After my son Trenton's wedding, he was the one that was married at like this really nice resort on Lake Superior up in Two Harbors. And after the wedding, the whole wedding party decided that they were going to go skinny dipping.
Oh, nice.
So the mother and pervert in me, not that I want to see my children, no. But I'm like, I can't let these drunk people all go down to the lake and like
that's a poor
potentially
choice.
drowned.
Mm-hmm.
So my Aunt Michelle and we went down to just like kind of stand in the back, just make sure that everybody was safe at least. If you're going to do something stupid, at least be safe about it. And so, yeah, they all went skinny dipping. And afterwards, well, a lot of them were just down to their underwear, to be honest. But afterwards, Trenton, the thing with Trenton is when he drinks, he is hilarious. I mean, freaking hilarious. And they all get out of the water. They're trying to put their clothes back on, but it's wet. It's dark. You know, you're trying to, and everything's just sticking to you. Mm-hmm. And there's one of the bridesmaids. She's crying and she's like, I think they saw my boobs. She's like totally like regretful now. And Emily's like, my daughter-in-law, she's like, of course they did. You were naked. And then the girl puts on this t-shirt and she starts like kind of hobbling towards the resort. And Trenton is like, whoa. You can't go inside looking like that. You got to put some clothes on. And because like I said, she's just wearing a t-shirt, a long t-shirt.
No underwear.
And I said, listen, Trenton, you are standing here talking to her wearing just your underwear and one sock. Maybe you yourself should put a little more on. And I said, and where's your sock? Because I'm trying to like gather, like, because it's tuxes and whatever, bow ties and, you know, so I'm frantically trying to find stuff. And I'm like, where's your sock? And he like just perfectly pauses, looks out at the open water, and he says, it has went to the sea. And I swear he gave it a salute and then put his pants on, and we all walked back up to the thing. But it was like so perfect. It has went to the sea.
Nice.
And that was it. Good times.
Yeah.
Good times.
Maud. Oh, I thought we were naming.
Maud.
I was
Norman
about to
Lear
say.
shows.
I was about to say the Jeffersons, but yeah, I was with you.
You were with me.
Yeah. All
Okay,
right.
there's one little wedding thing I want to throw out
Yeah.
there.
Let's do that. And then
There's a Kiss song called "Hotter Than Hell." There's a part where he's talking about like the girl. And he's like, she said, you don't understand. She showed me her wedding band. I always want to make a video for it where she gestures to like a band that performs at weddings.
yeah.
Like the wedding singer.
Yes.
And they just belong to her. This is my wedding band.
My wedding band.
She's the manager.
I like that very much.
Oh, I do love that. What a great way to end this. Let's dive into some biscuits. We are going to do our biscuit basket.
Woohoo.
So first up,
Yes.
do you have one?
I do.
Oh, Lisa, could we hear your biscuit?
It's buttery.
Ooh.
In anticipation.
Ooh.
Yes, because this Saturday, the 22nd,
Mm-hmm.
Amanda and I are going to go see Ghosts concert movie right here, right now.
Yeah? And where are you going to see it?
Green Bay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not playing in town here.
No, it's not.
And
You know-
Amanda and I don't drive in the cities.
You know, when
Well,
I was in high
could have,
school and the Oakwood Theater expanded and added 6 more screens,
Mm-hmm.
they made a whole big thing about how, like, oh, we got so many like international films and like
Yeah.
documentaries, blah, blah, that never happened. No, we'll just
No.
put Star Wars on 4 screens.
Yep.
Thanks.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know what theater chain is showing it, but it's not.
But I
In my
admire
youth.
this because Carl and I and his mom went to the cities to see the Tanya Tucker documentary because it was
Oh,
the only
nice.
place that we could find that was
Yeah.
showing it.
no, I like that. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you for sharing.
I'm
and
excited.
we are expecting updates next episode.
Heck yeah.
And take a picture of the package if there is one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Ryan, do you have any biscuits for
Mine's
us?
somewhat wedding related,
Ooh.
but not really. But so this weekend was my mom's 60th birthday.
Oh, I love your mom.
So I got her a lot of fun stuff because she always, basically, like at her house, my stepdad like decided to get rid of their DVD player, so they don't have one.
What?
And you know all these things, like we got rid of satellite, so now we have this, and like he just makes these decisions. So
Mhm.
I know my mom has DVDs, and I kind of decided a while time ago, I'm like, oh, for her birthday, I'm totally gonna buy her a DVD player, and my brother bought her a TV, so
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
they're like, you're set.
Nice.
Does she want to watch our wedding DVD?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Gosh.
She should come over and we watch it together. But anyway.
So she's always told me this story. Well, I shouldn't say always, but a few times she's told me the story that she had an autographed picture of John Stamos from when he was
Ooh.
on General Hospital.
oh my God.
Right?
Oh.
But when she married my dad, she tore it up. Right. So like,
Why?
well, right, because how long did you stay married? Not very long. You
Oh
could have
my
kept that picture forever.
God.
Why
so
would we
I
do that to
I
John
decided,
Stamos?
oh my God, for her 60th, I need to get her a John Stamos autographed picture.
Yes.
And I went on eBay and I found one because I was trying to find one from like that era.
Yeah.
But I found one that's like much more modern, and he's in like a window, and there's like a curtain, and his ass is out,
Ooh.
and I'm like,
Ooh.
that's the one she's getting.
Yeah.
I didn't get to give it to her yet though because
man.
I bought one of those folder things that you put like a degree in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I want to put it in that, but that didn't come until today. So
Oh, okay.
I was like, you're
But
gonna have to
she'll
wait.
have it before this airs, right?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
perfect. So no spoilers.
She'll
Good,
have
good,
it this
good.
week.
That is
Cool.
a beautiful gift.
We also need to follow up on that one. I want to hear how she responds.
Definitely.
Definitely.
All right. Well, Amanda, do you have any biscuits?
My biscuit is that I spent the weekend painting our child's room, and he really loves it.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, so it's nice.
Awesome. Courtney, do you have a biscuit?
I have a concerned biscuit.
Oh.
Yeah. We went to McDonald's a little while ago. And now, if you know the name of the new McFlurry, don't say it. I just want you guys to guess.
Oh, I
do
know
know.
what it is.
Do you?
I
Yeah.
also know.
I don't
You
know.
also
Oh, here we
know?
go. We got one person that can play along.
Okay, Lisa doesn't
Okay.
know.
Is it?
So
Okay.
think of like the worst name you would ever name a new McFlurry.
A dingleberry.
That's a good
Pretty
guess.
close.
Okay.
The new flavor is grandma.
Oh, I know. Yeah, because it's supposed to be pieces of candies.
Butterscotch.
Yes, that
Mhm.
you would find in your grandmother's purse.
Yeah.
But what was the first
But-
thing all of us thought when we saw Grandma McFlurry?
That it
It's got
tasted like
chunks of grandma in it.
Yeah.
Right? No,
think
who is the marketing person?
I thought it
like,
was disastrous.
I mean,
I don't
I,
know how
will
it went
say
over,
that
but
we
I
had
thought it
a
was stupid.
McFlurry early last week when we went to Rochester, and I considered getting the Grandma McFlurry, but then I was like, I don't really want that.
See, I think of those strawberry candies.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
hmm
But
The
my
jelly
grandma
inside.
never.
My grandma had Werther's Original.
My aunts had those.
Oh.
My grandma had Luden's cough drops.
Okay.
My
You know,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the really good ones.
The
Yes, the
licorice
cherry.
ones.
Yeah, the cherry ones.
Smith
Those were
Brothers was
not-
also like, that's just candy.
Yeah.
I love me some butterscotch. So if there was butterscotch in it, I'd try it. But yeah, something named like Grandma Shake, I'm like,
and
no.
for me, if you're gonna call it a Grandma McFlurry, I'd be like, oh, so there's chocolate chip cookies in it.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's where my brain would go.
Oh, that's a very good point because everybody's like relationship with their grandma is so unique. You can't really get everyone.
Because like my grandma didn't really have. Well, I mean, she might have had stuff in her purse, but we didn't really go a lot of places. Like she had a candy dish that had Werther's Original, and we could like. I'm pretty sure I eat like the entire bowl every time I went over there. But she also had. My mom will be proud of me maybe for remembering that she didn't have Oreo cookies. She had Hydrox cookies.
Sometimes those are better depending on my
they
mood.
are, yeah. So like to me, an Oreo McFlurry is closer to my grandma.
I will let you know. I want all our listeners to know too. Everyone thinks Hydrox are generic Oreos.
No.
Untrue.
Yep.
Hydrox were first, and
Yep.
Oreo copied them, and then kind of like took over the market. So
Yep.
really, Oreos are
So
generic.
I have never
Hydrox.
heard of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, my grandma always had Hydrox. I didn't know, and then my
No,
mom told me.
I've thought that for years, but I learned the truth recently. Yeah.
I love the History Channel when
But I
they do
will
their
say-
food, the foods that built America or whatever.
Yep.
Love that show.
But Courtney, wouldn't you think like if you and I were to have a McFlurry that was based on our grandma, it would have just like mushed up graham cracker in it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's-
I did call her
I'm
Grandma
really-
Donut, so I would like to think that there's donuts.
Ooh, donuts and graham crackers. Why not?
Yeah.
That'd be good. I'd dig it.
Uh-huh.
What's your biscuit?
Well, thank you, Lisa. Let me throw out my biscuit. So
Sorry.
That's
today,
amazing.
my mom had sent out a text to my siblings and myself, and it was a picture of her.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm really
Well,
scared where this
It's
is
just,
going.
it's just that I burped, and then Ruggles made the exact same sound.
She just did like a call and response.
Okay, sorry, Gary.
No. It was good.
So your mom texted you.
It was
Yeah.
it was good for the podcast, so I appreciate it. So my mom texted me, and it was she and my dad went out to a meal, so she was just like sending pictures as one does. It's not a big deal. But when I got the picture, it showed up on my my watch because I have a Google Pixel watch, and the watch is small, so it's kind of cropped and zoomed, and it just zoomed right in on what I believe was a very rare prime rib, and I'm like, oh my god, it looks like a big meaty vag, and I'm like, that's so, like, it's not my mom's fault, but that's what it looked like on my phone. And then I just tuck that memory away. And then, like, 10 seconds later, I get a text from Amanda, and I will read it to you right now. Your mom's dinner pic showed up on my watch, and it looked like a big meaty vag. I was super duper grossed. And that's my biscuit. The fact that it did the same thing to Amanda, and she thought the
Nice.
same exact thing.
That was so disgusting.
I want to see the picture now.
Well, let me. I'll forward it to you.
And she's like, "Oh, it was the best meal."
Well, you know, now
And
that
I
has
know
to go
your
on
mom.
now that picture has to go on the social media post.
Oh, it will.
And it's her birthday dinner. 'Cause she loves it, so that's wonderful. But
the prime rib.
She
not
likes
the,
it like
not the big
not
meaty
even really
vag.
cooked.
yeah, she does not
Oh,
like.
yeah. Well, you're
like,
about to see
one
in 5,
flip and you're done.
4, 3, 2, 1. It's now in our group chat, guys. So
meaty
feel free to take a look.
vag.
That is what it looks like.
You're gonna love this.
Ew. Ew. And I like vag. Oh, I'm closing that.
But it was just that syndrome.
Oh, don't. Oh, God, Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
That is so fucking gross.
Oh.
Apparently, the meat just melted in your mouth.
Oh.
But happy birthday,
It's easy to do when it's liquid.
Oh my
Oh.
god!
I actually-
Called me old fashioned, but I don't think meat should melt.
It was hilarious. Right after she sent it, my sister texted back, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Your chef forgot to cook your food."
It looks like it's like 90% fat.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a prime rib, so there's plenty
Yeah,
of fat on
but-
it. But yeah,
I don't understand the appeal of prime rib.
Neither do
I
I.
don't either.
I've
like a
only
good
I had it
sirloin.
once where it wasn't very fatty, and they had this amazing creamy horseradish with it, and it was phenomenal. But I've only had that once, so I don't know. Otherwise, I
think
agree
we
with
should
you.
all sad face react to that.
What's in the cup? It looks like dirt.
I believe that's like an au jus.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it looks like she's got
Bless
dirt
you.
and vagina.
So that's my very buttered biscuit.
And that's how you can tell that Gary and I have been together for 20 years. Because we see the same picture and think, big meaty veg.
Did she put pepper on this or did the chef?
It had to have been the chef. I mean, she
put salt.
She put salt on things, but
Because
yeah.
I'm zooming in and I don't want to, but I am anyway. I'm going to look at Courtney's. Oh, Courtney!
What Courtney put?
my side. And it's not wrong.
To our listeners, Courtney responded to the meaty badge with an actual vag.
I typed in big meaty veg, and that's what showed up.
Oh, Jesus. The best part is Tiffany and Courtney and be like, what the fuck is happening?
I'm trying to talk.
Oh my God.
Oh my god, that's so gross.
Oh.
It looks better than the prime rib.
It's cooked more.
And with that, we bid you adieu.
Okay, on that note, we want to thank you guys for listening, and may all your, I don't know, somebody give me something witty about weddings.
May all your photographers work out.
Yeah, that's a good one.
May your photographers still enjoy their job and want to do it.
Oh boy. All right.
And may your milk not be sour.
And may your milk not be sour. So, can I have you guys say goodnight to the audience?
Good night.
Good night.
Nice.
All right. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thank you for listening to Wicker Biscuit, a Podcast Ahoy production. The producers of Wicker Biscuit are Courtney Holub, Ryan LeMay, and Gary Putnam. Assistant producers are Amanda Putnam and Lisa Rudd. Recording and editing is done by Gary Putnam, with Lisa Rudd as the assistant editor. Executive producer of Wicker Biscuit is Gary Putnam. Check out our social media for updates on upcoming pods and for clips and other media referenced in this episode. Links and information can be found in the episode notes. Thanks again from everyone at the Wicker Biscuit family.